Hey guys, this is Rachel Feldman. I am the proud creator of the Done For You programs for really driven health coaches, which I am speaking to one of them right now. And as you see, this is real, what I love. This is real life. This is our kids, in the background. Your kids. My kids are in the other room eating. But I wanted to talk to you about your experience with the Done For You programs. Why, when you bought this program, did it align with you, or why did it stand out? What made it different for you?
What made it different for me is that the verbiage that you use on the website and the things that you pulled out that were important in the programs and for just on your website you were talking about align with my point of view. So I found somebody who thinks the same way I do, who believes the same thing I do, and really wants their clients to learn what I want them to learn, because there's so many different ways to do what we do. Mm-hmm. You were really in line with what I wanted to do.
And so when you were looking for that, because one of the reasons that I created these programs this way is that I was the same way. I was like, I have to find a program like this. And I bought like one or two programs, and they maybe had great statistics, or maybe they were so devoid of information, like so just empty. Right. And I was like, okay, guess I'm going to have to create one myself. And that was really like, that was when I first created the detox for me, because I was like, I need to give my clients like some key things that I do in my life, or teach them some key things instead of constantly recreating this system over and over. So when you looked at the program interior wise, was it verbiage? Was it stuff that you've, used or added or kind of changed around, or did you keep things as they were?
I made it a little bit more my style, and the way that I write in my blog and the way that I do things they're my voice. So I changed a lot of it to my voice. We have similar voices, again, is why I liked your program. Like, I had written one for myself right before I had found yours, and then I was like, oh my God, it's all together, and it's formatted, and it makes sense, and it's A to Z. Because that was the other thing. A lot of them weren't A to Z, and to give my clients a whole program and then having to explain it as well was not something I was willing to do, because I'm looking to create passive income.
Yeah.
Create that, the whole program is, worked for me. And the recipes itself were also recipes that were aligned. Thank you, honey. Thank you, Rachel, I got a drink. That were aligned with, I make a lot of the similar things that you make. The recipes that you put in the book, so it aligned with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know for me, and I always talk about this with the Done For You programs, like I would go, before I had these, and I would go to sites, and there would be like, even the recipes that I make, like there would be like 15 ingredients, and I was like, whoa, yeah. Can't handle that, got kids, busy, on the go, like it's not going to happen. So I felt like it was so important to have recipes that were simple, doable for even a family, doable for anybody, and that even if you were traveling and you were out, you could say like, oh, here's like a template of this recipe, so let me, while I'm out, get this kind of salad, throw this on top of it, or order this soup, or so that it was like applicable for what I call like the real person.
The real world, and that's what I say with my clients. And the verbiage that I put in there for me is super doable, because that's what I hear all the time from my clients is, can I do it? Can I do it? And this is super doable, super easy, and it's not the crazy, like I have to go to 6 stores to find all the ingredients. You can find 95% of the ingredients at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, I think what's so beautiful about, and I try to even do this because there are so many coaches who buy in other countries, buy in other parts of the world, have clients in other parts of the world. It's like everyone doesn't need to superfood it out. So it's like, some people have no care to, and some people, and I think this is the range that I love with the programs. It's like some people even to just get off 10 Coca-Colas that week, that's a big transition. And so to say to somebody like, you're going to add all these superfoods to this, it's like, wait, I can't even, I'm trying to grasp my 10 Coca-Cola addiction. So, one of the things that was always important to me that I saw with my clients, it's like small changes so that you could transform and really teach them things that I do in my life.
Exactly. And one thing I really liked about the structure of the program is, this is how I sell it a lot as well, is this is what day 1, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Day 2, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not only the meal plan, I think them having both parts of that really helps them understand that there's no questions. Like I wake up in the morning and I look at my day 1, or I look at my meal plan, and I know exactly what I'm doing. That part is a huge selling point for me and for my clients, because they're not buying a program they have to think about. They don't want to have to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because in times where I'm always like, should I change it around? Should I just give options? And it's like, no, when I like a plan, I like someone to be like, you're doing this, 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 and this. Because I know even when I've hired a coach and for, health stuff, they're like, they've totally changed everything. And I got scared. I was like, whoa. I had to say, like, this is too much change. This is like freaking me out. And so I think the beauty of these programs is it's kind of giving you small action steps. And as coaches, I always say this, like, if you don't want to use a part of it, if it doesn't align with your practice, rip it out. Just like take it out, don't use it, or tell people there's no one simple way. There's no one magical book. Like, this is why we're figuring out your blueprint.
Like, I had a client started on Monday. She said to me, I first got everything. It was a little overwhelming. So she had called me and I said, read the quick guide. Read that first. And she's like, you were right. I got it.
Just read the instruction book. And
you're fine. Because if you are drinking 10 sodas a day and you get all this information at once, it can be overwhelming. And I say to all my clients in the email that you wrote as well, it's like, first read the guide and then And that's
first read, then download your materials. Because, for me, the biggest thing that I always found, even with my children, it's like educate first and then you'll make a change. No, you can't just say to somebody, here, change your food. It's like we have to really say why am I changing this? What parts of my life, if I'm stressed out at night and I'm going and shoving chips down my mouth, which, I would say most of us deal with stress and we all deal with it in a different way. Some food, some other things,
Most of my clients, it's food. So
yeah.
That works
and
for
so
us.
That's the beauty. I found, for me it was so important, whether it's Revitalize or Paleo or the detox, it wasn't just the food. It's like I wanted to teach people here, journal, here are affirmations, here are other ways to emotionally detox your life. Look at the people in your life. Are they healthy for you? Look at really examine not just the food, but what's happened in your life on that emotional level. And that was an important piece for me. Do you feel like that's, a part of your business that has really been in alignment?
Oh, totally in alignment, because I'm a no BS kind of, in your face. If you want to really hear the truth, you come to me. One of my taglines is real food, real talk, because you can fix the food, but if you don't fix the other part, it's really not going to matter. And the other parts that you put in the program, like the oil pulling, and all of that kind of stuff. And I said to my clients, not everyone's going to do all this. I don't do all this.
Yeah.
I do certain parts of it, and this is just another level of self-care that you can go to when you're ready, and you'll always have this information in your pocket.
Well, and it's interesting. You talk about that. I always say, those tools in there, they're my bag of what I call tricks. A few weeks ago, I did not feel well, and I was like, boom. I don't castor oil pack all the time, but I knew I was not feeling good. I put a castor oil pack. I oil pulled for a few days. So it's not that that's all the time. Some people do that. I think the beauty of the programs is you can say to your clients, look, even if you make one change, or like I did this morning, I was skin brushing because I was like, Rach, haven't been skin brushing and it's so great. And I was sitting there gotta get that lymph moving, to myself. And it's a reminder to myself of here's my daily reprieve. And I get to then share that in a simple format with my clients and say, okay, you don't have to do everything. These are just my loves, my favorite faves to just keep your body healthy.
And I edited part of that as to what works for me. I got a lot of great feedback on that part, and I like that addition because I also had the fall one. So I really like that addition in the winter program.
Yeah, and I even with this one coming up, even said if you can only if you can only pick like a few, these are my favorites. You know, like I always say, there hasn't been one day since somebody showed me a tongue scraper that I don't tongue scrape.
Okay.
Not one day. Like that's please people get the tongue scraper.
That's my after your first appointment. That's what I give my clients.
Yeah, like I love it. So even my kids have a tongue scraper. You know? And I'm always like skin brush, and I've always, skin brushed my kids, and I feel like these are such basic, beautiful tools. And so, that for me, when I get to write these, I'm like, wow, no, this is just this little mini guidebook. Like, here are my favorite things.
Love it.
So can you tell me, do you use these online and offline?
I've only used them online, but I was recently contacted by a local gym who wants me to do it wants me to like my programs, like what I had to say. Hadn't seen the actual program, but they want me to install it as their lifestyle program in their gym.
Nice. I love that. And that's what kind of happened for me. I always say, like, things happened organically in my business. I didn't go out and say, hey, can I partner with you? Like, people they would see that I had a program, that they would see that I was like talking the talk and walking the walk. And that to me is what Done For You programs, like, it just gives coaches, it gives us that ability to say, oh, I can breathe. I have a program, and now I can focus on these other things and keep, like what you said, like blogging and doing all those things that you need to do, because someone's going to come to your site and be like, oh, let me check out what she has to say. And that's going to be your blog.
That's what happened with this one gym. She said, the only reason I contacted you is because of your social media presence and your blogging. I can tell your point of view from what you're doing, but if you didn't have that SM presence, I wouldn't even spoken to you.
I love that. I totally love that. And I say that all the time. Like, and if someone's listening and they're like, I can't sell an online program, it's like, you have to have that social media presence. You have to be blogging. You have to be putting yourself out there. People need to be able to be like, oh, she is, or he is the real deal. And I see them in these different areas. And that's why I always say it's that consistency, and that's what brings you to a sustainable business, whether it's passive or active.
Yeah, not being afraid of it. I put a video out last week about making a crock pot chicken, like literally taking the chicken and putting it in the crock pot.
Yeah.
It was with my phone. It was so silly. I dropped the phone. But I went out last night to a HSA, like a PTA meeting, and everyone talked to me about it. I'm like, I literally, my hair wasn't done. I was wearing a T-shirt. Like, it was just one of those, like, I need to make dinner. Why not put it on?
Yeah.
And 4 people who saw that video are now in my program. Because they saw
me.
But
that's exactly what it means. And that's why, it's funny, like this webinar coming up, like, and I just pound people, like, I know you may not like webinars, you may not like videos, but dude, get over it, because you're missing out on an opportunity for people to get to know you in a totally different way.
Exactly.
Nice.
Get over fear and just kind of, I always say to my kids, I think that you've said this before too, it's like, fake it till you make it. You don't
just get over it.
You do.
Get over it. Like, it will be okay. Like, it will be okay. And then all of a sudden you'll do it and you won't be scared. And then you'll be like, wow, I just did that.
So easy. They want to know who you are. And that's what I find, like, doing, especially with now the Facebook Live, it's so easy to put those videos out there.
Yeah.
Or, do it on my computer. It's really easy. And I see that part of the videos that are coming out through the challenge, people are starting to not be afraid of themselves.
I know.
I don't want to say our age, but after 30, I think you start to know who you are, and it's a lot easier to do that stuff.
Well, thank you so much. I know your kids definitely need you. My kids, I can hear like, luckily Dad's though in the other room. But I just want to thank you so much, because I have such respect for you. And I love that you're that no BS kind of woman. And the real deal. And so I think it's so important for other coaches to hear, like, wow, no, there are other coaches out there that are really making it. And they're not like putting all that, all together. They're just like, yeah, here's my crock pot chicken. And then you get, all these PAT people who are like, PTA, like, oh, wow, I saw that. And then they become your clients. And that is such a testimony to just like going for it. So I love that you shared that so much.
Thank you. So, you helped a lot, so I appreciate it.
Well, Can you tell everyone if they want to stalk you and check out where you are, tell people where they can find you?
My website's bethsblueprint.com, and over all my social media, it's bethsblueprint.com or Beth's Blueprint.
Nice. See, this is what I'm talking about. Real life, dog, kids running in the background. And that's why we need done-for-you stuff. All right, my dear. Thank you so much. Have an awesome, and it was great to meet. It was great to meet your kids.
Bye.
Bye, babe.